Good evening, everyone. 7 o'clock straight up. So we'll go ahead and start our podcast here, exploring the supernatural with Paranormal Houston Investigations. You can see, Charlotte, that I've changed the name from John to Paranormal Houston Investigations so that the team gets credit for this. What we were supposed to have tonight, we were supposed to have Lowell Herzog come on and talk to us about cemetery restorations and tell us some stories, especially about the cemetery at Concord, which he's working on now, which is one our group restored, back in 2008, 2009.
It's been a while.
No?
It said it's been a while.
It's been a while. Now, Danny and I have made a trip this last year to it, and we spent an afternoon up there with Lowell Herzog in the cemetery, and we were cutting some trees and pretty well dulled my chainsaw. The last tree I cut up there, the last limbs and stuff, I burned through rather than cut because the saw had gotten so dull. So anyway, with him not showing up tonight, we're going to go ahead and start another subject matter that is near and dear to my heart, and something that I've been concerned about for some time. And that factor is that the paranormal, the scientific community, has not ever recognized that paranormal is really real, or that there are any paranormal events at all. They leave it up to being undocumented and not really, existing. So one of the things I would like to see our team do is be sure that we're doing our documentation and following the procedures that we need to follow, so that when we get a good case, and each case that we do get, we're practicing for the one that is going to allow us to record and document it in a manner that we can present it to the scientific community and convince everybody that we actually have paranormal activity to the scientific community. The truth of the matter is that most people in the United States have had paranormal experiences, and most of them really believe that paranormal experiences occur. So I know that everybody on our team has had a paranormal experience before. And so one of the things that I wanted to ask the AI inquiry today was, in the scientific, what cases are actually on record with the scientific community as being possible cases of paranormal experience. And it came back to me with 5 cases. The 5 cases were the Enfield Poltergeist that came from the 1970s in England. It involved an alleged poltergeist activity in a family home, with reports of furniture moving on its own, objects flying through the air, and strange voices, where some suspect trickery and some people said certain aspects remain unexplained. So there's a mixture on what people are saying. I don't know if anybody on our team wants to say anything about the Enfield Poltergeist. Does anybody know anything about it? Or have you heard anything about whether it's legitimate or whether it's all fraud? Anybody want to speak up?
I haven't heard anything about it, but I could dig into it and see.
The Amityville Horror is another case from the 70s in New York, involved a claim of a haunting and demons, possession in a house where the family had been murdered. A movie was made of that particular event, and there are people that still believe that it is real and that there was enough evidence there. And in both of these cases, there were police officers that gave testimony. There were lots of witnesses. And in fact, especially in the Enfield case, there were so many witnesses. This went on for a year, and there was a lot of repeatability in the events that were occurring. Some of the girls were, the 2 girls, one was 11, one was 13, I believe, would be floating in space, levitating in space. So how do you explain that? I mean, if you're recording that, how does that not show paranormal activity? But also, the girls would speak in languages they did not know, and they could also work math problems and all kinds of things that they had no knowledge of. So that was some of the information that was available on the Enfield Poltergeist activity. Another, number three, there are five of them now. Three is the Bell Witch. In this case, from the 19th century in Tennessee, involved reports of a malevolent spirit tormenting a family with physical attacks, strange noises, and even prophecies. While some dismiss it as folklore, the story has persisted and continues to attract attention. So even today, a lot of people believe that it is folklore. Now, there are some activities at where the Bell Witch was, the Bell Witch Cave and stuff. I've never been to the cave myself. As with any evidence that I see myself, I'm very skeptical about that evidence. So I'm sure everybody else is too. I mean, a lot of pictures can be faked in some way. We have AI today that can do a great job of faking a photograph. So I'm wondering if maybe some of the groups might be going back to the old 35 millimeter film type cameras, because once you got the negative, you can't doctor the negative. That photograph's taken, that's history, it's written, you know. So, yeah.
And the Bell Witch was one of the first and only cases that was documented by law enforcement and actually listed the cause of death. I think on his death certificate as Bell Witch was listed as cause of death.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we got some evidence to show the scientific community. So that's very good. Thank you. I did not know that. Okay, another one that is a strong case for paranormal activity, and everybody has seen it on TV today, is the Skinwalker Ranch. Now, there is kind of another area close to Skinwalker Ranch. I understand the whole valley where Skinwalker Ranch is having activity. There is another ranch there called Blind Frog Ranch that is owned by another gentleman, and they are having a lot of activity there too, but it's not as well known as Skinwalker Ranch. And of course, Skinwalker Ranch does have Dr. Taylor on it, who was head of the National Scientific Foundation. So I think probably what's going on at Skinwalker Ranch is probably the most closest we come to having something that's really accepted by the scientific community. And in that particular thing, they're shooting off rockets into the entities and the things that they're experiencing there, and they are digging different things. They're doing a lot of experiments and using a lot of scientific instruments. So I would have to say that that is probably the most scientifically based investigation that I've seen anywhere. And I was following it. I haven't followed it the last year. I don't have TV anymore. So I can't watch the Skinwalker Ranch or the History Channel anymore. Number 5 is the Hessdalen Lights. And these unexplained lights were appearing in the Hessdalen Valley in Norway and have been observed for decades. While some attribute them to natural phenomenon, the exact cause remains unknown. So even though it's listed as a natural phenomenon, nobody knows what natural phenomenon causes it. So if we don't understand how it's caused, I don't think that we can say that it's not paranormal, you know? But anyway, those are the 5 most important cases that are being looked at by the scientific community. When we get a case, I want us to be prepared that we're able to document our case and try to be careful and have discussions on what we're going to do to document our cases and do a better job so that we can help prove our case to somebody. I don't know. What's everybody's feelings on this? Anybody think there's something we ought to be doing that we're not, maybe?
I think that instead of using digital recording, because digital recordings can be manipulated, the old tape recorders and the tapes,
Okay.
you can't manipulate that. That can't be manipulated.
Okay.
I know I've talked to quite a few different investigators and experiencers, however you want to phrase it, whatever terminology you want to use. And most of the ones that I've spoken to prefer, they're like, yeah, we take a stack of, 30, audio tapes or more of the 90-minute, 120-minute, whatever you can get, audio tapes and audio recorders, and use those as opposed to digital.
Okay.
But
Well, I still have a reel-to-reel in storage. I haven't tried it lately.
that would be cool.
You get a long tape on that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Days. But anyway, I could pull that out of storage, and we could get some microphones and stuff to hook up to it so that we could record with it again.
Yeah. I
And
remember that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, I assume that it still works. I have had it in storage so long, and I haven't looked for tapes for it, but we can look for tapes for it. But I know that some cases, people are saying that the tape is electromagnetic, or it's magnetic in nature, and that a lot of the paranormal voices they are thinking are electromagnetic in nature, and that they even have cases where the tape is not played, but it has absorbed the energy, and when they play the tape, they get the message even without recording. So there's a lot of reasons to do that.
Yeah.
So perhaps what we ought to do is do both. We can do both side by side.
Yeah.
And for a while and see what happens and what's better.
Yeah.
Any discussion? Well, I'll go dig my tape recorder out of storage and then see if it still works and see if we can do something with it. I still have some cassettes around, but I don't know, how available cassette tapes are. We can look into that.
Amazon.
Okay. I still have a 35 millimeter camera too, but it's kind of screwy in that when they changed to the button batteries, they changed the material in it. And when they changed the material in it, the voltage changed on the battery. So my camera that's a 35 millimeter needs a light meter to go with it, because the light meter in the lens doesn't read right because the voltage is off now from what it used to be, that they don't make that battery anymore. So it's either that or buy a new 35 millimeter camera. Okay, any other suggestions?
I have some suggestions, John.
Okay.
Maybe we need to set up some standard operating procedures, like if we have a case, a lead investigator should be assigned. The documentation should show when we arrive, who's present, who the lead investigator is, times. I would even suggest that there be a place on maybe the investigation sheet for what the weather is like. Was it raining? Is it thundering? Is it a clear sky? Is there any wind blowing? Maybe a snapshot or something of what the current conditions are.
Okay. Well, I do print out that weather report when we have an investigation and we go out. In fact, it's got everything on it. In fact, solar activity. It's got the moon phase on it. It's got
a lot of. Okay. Didn't know that, but that's good to know.
Now, on the one we went on with Melissa, I did not give you a sheet or that other lady either, but I used to. I just haven't done it lately. I've got a investigator's sheet that they fill out, and it does have all that information on it.
Okay.
Remind me to be more diligent, because, and maybe that's what my subconscious is criticizing me a little bit, to tell me that I need to be better on some of these. Now, we did appoint a person to be our lead investigator, which is Danny, and we did appoint a person to be our case manager. And so the case manager I'd asked to do it was Dawn Pinico, and she had agreed to do it. And since then, I haven't heard a peep out of Dawn. So I don't know what's going on with Dawn here lately. But the idea was, and in our written procedure was, that the cases would come in and they would contact Dawn, and Dawn would set up the get the lead investigator, which is Danny, involved. Danny, have you seen that information? Did I send that to you? Danny must have stepped away. So anyway, I tell you what, I will send that out to the rest of us tonight. And oh, she said she hadn't seen it. Okay, I see it in chat over here. Okay. So anyway, I think I have posted it on our group, the closed group thing. Maybe I haven't. But anyway, I will look at it tonight and make sure, and I will email all of you maybe as late as in the morning, and make sure that y'all have these things, and we can go over it. And the next time we meet, we can discuss it and see what we can do about that. Anybody else have any other suggestions?
I can't think of anything else, but then my brain isn't working right
I understand.
since
And
Friday.
for those of you that don't know, Donna was in a car accident the day before yesterday, and she's not doing well. They totaled the car they were in, if that gives you any idea the extent of the accident. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Dad,
I'll
did
say
I,
a little prayer for you.
thank you, Charlotte. Did I send you the picture of the car?
I'm seeing Danny says yes. Danny saw it. So
Oh,
Your new
well,
car?
no,
it
not
wasn't
my car.
car. It was her mother's car.
But funny thing about the whole, I don't want to say funny thing about the whole thing, because I still want to cry. I'm still having cry moments that are like really making me angry, because I shouldn't be crying, but I get my eyeballs want to get weepy. Is that we were outside, I was walking to my car, and I heard plain as day, "Take the Chrysler." And I usually be like, whatever, I'm taking my car. Take the Chrysler. And I don't know what happened. I just was like pushed to the Chrysler. So we got in the Chrysler. It's a Chrysler 200. And so and Mom's like, "Oh, we're taking my car today." And I said, "Yeah, I don't know why, but I just keep hearing the voice, take the Chrysler." So we took the Chrysler, and sure enough, everyone is glad that we took her car instead of mine. I would not be here today if we had been in my car, because I would have stroked out. I'm not even exaggerating. I would have stroked out. I'd be dead. It wouldn't know. But yeah, and my brother got to the scene as quickly as he could. He came to my apartment, got the spare key from my car, and took my car to the scene. And he got there, and he's a mechanic, and he looked at the car and he goes, "Yeah, it's totaled." He goes, "I don't even know how the engine did not end up in our laps. Nobody knows." And
Sounds like you had a guardian angel.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I have the angelic runes for protection, as well as the Viking, because I got the Viking DNA. I've got all that I have it in the windshield. And I'm just so thankful that it wasn't it wasn't worse. It wasn't worse. But yeah, it's very scary. I'm still shook up. Still.
Well, that's not surprising. I mean, people think that car accidents are no big deal, but
No.
they can traumatize you for
yeah.
years. I know after my wreck in Virginia, it took me a good 3 years to finally get past some of that anger and associated, like reliving and going back and thinking if things could have been different. And
Yeah.
and
Well,
being furious because the people that hit me were able to kick their way out of their car and leave. They left me. I was in the middle of like nowhere,
wow.
Virginia. They ran a
Yeah.
stop sign going, 60 miles an hour. And I was on the state road going the other way doing 55. So when we hit, I mean,
Yeah.
it was.
So I
Combined.
was driving down the road. I was doing the speed limit, and where we were at, there was a break in the Esplanade. It was a 4-lane road with esplanades, and there was a subdivision to the left and a shopping center to the right. And this giant SUV pulled out of the subdivision straight, did not even check for traffic, just and sped across all 4 lanes of traffic. And they were there before I could even respond. And I hit the brakes, and I T-boned them. And but there was, you could see that their vehicle had minimal damage. Our car's like destroyed, and it was just, oh my god. And because I had the OnStar in my car, I got the OnStar Guardian things and put it on my phone. And I made my mom put it on her phone, and I made my daughter put it on her phone. Within seconds of the hit, OnStar was calling my phone. And they were like, we've detected an accident. Are you okay? And the first thing no, I am not okay. And I am the first person, oh yeah, I'm fine. It's good. Everything's fine. We got it. No, I am not okay. And when I said that, my mom looked at me and she goes, okay, you're admitting you're not okay. So this is good. And then it kind of went from there. I don't want to say it went downhill from there, but it went from there. And so, but yeah, it's quite the traumatic experience. And I had to drive yesterday because we had to go to the grocery store to pick up some medications and stuff. And my brother yelled at me this morning, and he's like, you should have called me. I would have done it. And I'm like, well, but we had to get some other things because we're doing dinner tomorrow for Memorial Day. I had to get some stuff. And he's like, sis, stop. You're stupid. I could have done that for you. But I drove yesterday, and I was like shaking the whole time. And I was like, I've got to do it sooner or later. Do it sooner. Get it over with. But yeah, fun times. Fun times.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. And like I said, I can understand. I certainly can relate it. And, just, being, a mental health person, you just have to deal with it in your own way and deal with it in your own time, and don't let anybody make you feel like you're not dealing with it appropriately.
Oh, absolutely. And as a mental health therapist, I have to keep reminding myself, okay, hold on. Everyone does trauma differently. This is how you're doing yours. It's okay. And so, yeah. But yeah. So, yeah, we're working through it. But thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay, one of the other things that we could do, I suppose, is there's one of those experiments where you can use the noise canceling headphones through the recorder and through the radio. I have all the equipment for doing
the
it.
Estes method.
The Estes method, which we haven't really had any sessions that we've done, which we probably need to practice and be doing.
I would love to do that.
Okay.
Well, I do too. I did it when I was in Granbury a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. I've got the equipment for it. We're all set to do that. Now, there is another piece of equipment I'd like to add to it to make it more like the Ganton's Field experiment. And Donna might enlighten us a little bit about red light therapy. So what I would like to have us do is come up with some kind of goggles or mask that we could put red LEDs in, so that while you're in this state where you're trying to listen to what you're getting and the message you're getting and repeating to the group, Donna, tell them what the red lights do.
Well, okay. So first of all, you don't ever want red lights directly on your eyes.
Okay.
That's very bad. It can cause blindness. So that's a no-go right there. But red light therapy, it helps with, it helps with anxiety. It helps, it helps with mental health issues, but it also helps with your skin. But it also, in regards to the paranormal, it can help you. It's just like the green lights or whatever. You can use the red, and it can help sharpen out entities and whatnot.
Okay. So anyway, I was thinking that we might get some kind of goggles and put these red LEDs in the goggles. Now, we could put a shield on it or something if it has to, protect your eye. We can do that. It's a good point. We need to look into that and see what kind of shielding we probably need to do. We certainly don't want to blind anybody.
Right.
But a lot of times that if somebody, if rather than have the eyes closed, if there's something that, to see, it might, especially if it's all red, kind of a red screen, it might give you something to work with while you're in the state for the Estes method. Okay. Anybody else have any suggestions? Well,
I
it's
don't
gonna
think
be
I'm a fan of that idea.
Do what?
I'm not a fan of that idea, to be
What
honest.
idea?
Of putting
doing-
LEDs in something over the
Okay.
eyes. I'm not a fan of that
Okay.
because that could cause retinal damage.
Okay. Well, maybe we can find some goggles that are already made that won't cause damage that are,
Yeah. Yeah.
factored. But we can look into that. I just think that if it's used for the Gansfeld method or experiment, that they benefited from it. And what the CIA does with it is they're testing for extrasensory perception and stuff, and it's supposed to aid your concentration. And that's why the CIA and the NSA are using the red goggles. Okay.
Okay.
And that's why I'm thinking that we could use that for our research and come up with more information that way, or better information, or at least try it and see how it compares.
Sure.
And if we're doing good enough documentation, we ought to be able to tell. I mean, maybe we can sit and do a session with the lights and a session without and do a comparison. Now, the bad thing about it is that with paranormal, you never know what you're going to get. The spirits may be with you one moment and gone the next,
Right.
So that's going to have an effect on the outcome. But if you do it enough times, you're bound to average something. And we can see, hopefully see something that we can do. Okay. Danny was wanting to know how your mom is, Donna.
She is in a lot of pain. She's sitting here playing on her phone, something, I don't know. But she's in a lot of pain today. We both are. But I think she's in more pain than I am.
Okay.
I don't know. Her
Okay.
right, because she had both her knees replaced, and the right knee got jammed by the glove box. And they did CAT scans and X-rays. I think
X-rayed my knee.
they X-rayed her knee, and they said nothing was. Her knee is like black now. The whole knee is like bruised, black and blue.
Yeah.
But they said the prosthetic didn't shift, it didn't move or anything, so that's real stable. But
No broken bones.
nobody had broken bones. Nobody has internal bleeding. We do have internal bruising, but no bleeding. So
Well, her skin has just been hit by a titanium hammer,
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
And a seatbelt.
the seatbelts did their job. In my case, a little too well.
Well,
Um,
mine too, because it's my left
well,
side.
Yeah, her left side got her left abdomen got damaged, I guess, a little bit by the seatbelt. My whole chest is not good from the seatbelt.
My knee.
Well, a lot of times those seats go forward just enough that it puts
Yeah.
some slack,
Yeah, and no airbags deployed. There was no airbag deployment.
That is a lawsuit in itself.
So I don't know. I reached out to an attorney. We're waiting to hear back.
Okay.
So I don't.
Yeah. If the airbags did deploy, that's suable.
Your price on?
Yep.
He says, yeah.
her.
We can sue Chrysler.
That's what Jim's for.
That's what Jim's going to help us with. Yeah.
Now also look and see, go to Chrysler's website and run your VIN number and see if they got a recall on it.
Did you hear that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know it's got 2 recalls on it.
For airbags?
Nothing for airbags.
Nothing for airbags?
And I was
Alrighty.
gonna call and take it in.
Okay. Well, you can take it in now.
No, it's now it's at some insurance. The tow truck took it to some lot. I don't know.
I know, it's impounded somewhere, and they'll get the car for free.
Well, it's somewhere insurance companies go to look at them.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay, anything else that anybody wants to bring up tonight that would be pertinent to our investigations or that we need to do to make for better investigations?
John,
Yes.
the Delco goggles are available at the Ghost Hunter store.
What?
The Delco goggles for the Estes method.
Okay.
They're already made and available.
Okay. And it's called Delco goggles.
Yeah, DELCO goggles.
Oh, Delco, okay.
And they're at the ghosthunterstore.com.
Okay, I'll see if we can get those and see how expensive they are. I know we've got some donations coming in the next couple of days, and so I'll try to get some purchased. Now, I also still have to get these name tags that I want to do. Now, here's a sample of the name tag that Donna and I had for the spirit rescuers. When we went to Dallas, they gave these to us. But if you're wearing it on your thing and you have a lanyard, I've got lanyards I'm ordered, and I'm going to go over to a t-shirt company this week and talk to them about t-shirts. I know Donna can make them, but I want to have a look at the new logos over there and see what they can tell us about that too. They might have some method that Donna doesn't have. And I want to look into that and see what we can do, and I'll get back with everybody. If y'all want to have a Wednesday night meeting, we can meet and talk about the t-shirts and stuff. In the meantime, I've got Danny's headshot, I've got Donna's headshot, I've got mine, and I guess Jamie and Charlotte, if y'all could get me a headshot to use for your photograph on your badge, I will try to get those badges made. I just wanted to try to process them all at the same time and not have to do one a day or something that's, do them all while I'm sitting down at one time. So if you get those headshots into me this week, I'd appreciate it. And we'll get those done here shortly. And that way, when we're doing this thing in Galveston, everybody will have either their t-shirts or their tags, their badges, or both. And actually, doesn't hurt to have both. So any other questions? Anything else that anybody wants to discuss?
Oh, I had reached out to Chad, and he told me to reach out to his one of his agents for booking. So I had done that before we had spoken with Jen and Johnny.
Yeah.
And she emailed me back on Friday after the accident. And I went ahead and forwarded the email, and I replied to her, but I copied Jen and Johnny on it, saying that that they are in charge of the festival, that we're just doing the investigation, blah blah blah, and they'll be more than happy to answer questions that they have for Chad.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I did that.
Okay. Very good.
I did that yesterday morning when I wasn't.
Okay. Well, I had sent them a message on Monday, last Monday, asking if there was anything else we needed to do to, any requirements that we needed to meet or anything, if they had anything that we needed to do. And I got no response back from her. And I was going to do that every Monday for a while now, up till October.
Right.
So that in an effort not to get crossways with anybody or get any signals crossed or anybody get offended or anything.
Right.
I hope everything goes well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I did see on YouTube where the League Kepner House has put up a new video on their restoration work, and so I was watching that this morning. So I don't know if any of you are going to have time or anything, but if y'all want to tune into that, that'd be great. So
Yeah.
they do have a YouTube channel. You can look it up, League Kepner House. Anything else? Okay. I've got 36 minutes after the hour. We've been busy for 36 minutes. And I think we've got things that we need to work on, and I will get these emails out to everybody. So I wish everybody good night. I wish there were more of us in attendance, and we're going to get there. We're growing. And I hope y'all saw that we'd gotten to 200 subscribers on YouTube. And actually tonight we're at 204. So we're continuing to grow. We're at over 4,000 hours viewed now. So I think it's 4,000 if I recall correctly. But anyway, I was looking at some of the statistics and some of the numbers, and it was getting kind of impressive. And actually, I looked at a group that had 1,000 subscribers, and last week we did better than they did on views and hours watched. So that put a smile on my face too. So I thought that was interesting. So we're making headway, guys, and we're getting better, and we're getting better known. Also, I have added a bunch of new teams that I am posting our paranormal term of the day in. And if you have noticed, I have put the Paranormal Houston logo on it. So and I'm sending it from the Paranormal Houston website to the other teams. So as Charlotte pointed out last week, we need to be more team oriented and not John Strobin oriented. It's not a personal thing, it's a team thing. So I've made sure, and if you check our YouTube channel, it's not with John anymore, it's with PHI. I made a joke last week about it being Petroleum Helicopters Incorporated, because that's what PHI always stood for me. But now it stands for Paranormal Houston Investigations. So anyway, I'm trying to make this more of a team effort. All right, everybody. Good night. If you have any suggestions, email me, call me, text me, whatever. We'll see y'all Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. How's that?
Okay, good night.
Good night.